welcome to the chapter 4, that is operator precedence and expressions. As we know what is an operator precedence and expressions, precedence stands for the priority of an operator. Whenever we are using to calculate some expressions, in that expressions we are going to be using various kinds of operators. So to evaluate that expression, we should know the rank of that operator. So we are going to be using the precedence based on, and also we are defining whether the expression should be evaluated from left to right or right to left. This concept is called as associativity. Now let us see, the first topic is a separator. Okay, what is a separator? Separator is a symbol used to indicate where groups of codes are divided and arranged. By using these symbols in our complex programs, what then we are doing? We are dividing our code and we are arranging our code. So the basically define the shape and code function of our code. These separator defines the shape and function of our code. There are various kinds of separator. Those are parentheses, brackets, semicolon, comma and period operator. Let us see what is a parenthesis. This parenthesis is used to close enclose parameter in method definition and invocation. Here the method definition and invocations are nothing but your function definition and function declaration. Also used for defining precedence in expressions. This parenthesis is also helpful in your expressions based on the precedence containing the expressions of our flow controls. It also used in your control statements like if, for, while and other etc. And also it is used in your cast type. So as we know what is a casting, we are converting one data type to another data type. So it is also helpful for converting one data type to another data type. Okay, and now let us see the second separator as braces. This is used to convert contain the values of automatically initialized arrays and define a block of code for classes, methods and local scope, where we are using these braces to initialize the arrays, isn't it? And also we are defining the classes. As you have learned in your C++, it is the same. You have learned in your chapter 1 and chapter 2 as a sample program. After declaring the class, you are using the open curly brace and every class ends with a closing curly brace. And also local scope, you have learned the scope of the variables. In that you have learned this open curly brace as well as closing curly braces are using. And the next is separator is brackets. These are used to declare array types and for different array values. These brackets are used for declaring the array types. As you seen in your main method public static void main string args, we have used parenthesis as an function declaration, so that is method declaration, and string args we have declared that array of a string data type, isn't it? So there we have used that bracket defines the array types, and also it is used for different array values. So you can access the location of scripts. In the scripts, in the sense you are accessing the values of that arrays. And next separator is the semicolon. This semicolon is used for separate statements. As we know, every programming language like C and C++, every statement ends with a semicolon. Java is also not excluded. By using this semicolon, we are separating the statements. Okay, every statements terminated with semicolon. That the main intention is we are separating that statements. And next one is a comma. Whenever we are declaring the variable, if we want to define a multiple variable, then each variable will be separated by using the comma operator. Also we are going to be using in our first statement. And period statement, as we have seen how to access the class variables and class methods. If you want to access class variables and class methods, we have to use this dot operator. This dot operator is called as period operator. And It is also used for accessing packages. As we have seen in the sample execution program, we have written that import java.io.star. Here io is a package is a folder. In that folder, whatever the class, methods and interfaces exist, we are going to be accessing. Okay, so likewise we are going to be accessing this period operator to access the classes, methods, packages, and also to access the class variables and class methods. And next our topic is evaluation of expression. As we know, if you want to perform some calculations, we must use these expression concept. Evaluation of expression is very much essential. Then what is the general syntax of this evaluation of expression? We are going to be using variable is equal to expression. Variable is equal to expression. So that is the general syntax we are using. Variable is any valid name. After that we are providing expression which is a valid Java executable statement. In that expression, the expression may be execute either left to right or right to left based on the precedence of an operator. The execution of left to right and right to left is called as an associativity. If you observe here the example, x is equal to a into b minus c, here as we know according to the BODMAS rule, which expression should be evaluated. In this, a into b will be executed because multiplication is having highest precedence. Okay, so likewise we are defining the evaluation of expressions. And next is precedence. Precedence is also depend upon the priority of operators, ranking of the priority of the operators, as we just explained about the associativity of an operator, right? The associativity of an operator is defines whether the expression should be evaluated either left to right or from right to left. This is because of some of operator will execute from left to right and some of the operator will execute from right to left. Okay, here we have taken one condition, x equal to 10 plus 15, logical and y less than 10. In this expression we have to suggest which expression should be evaluated first and which expression should be evaluated next. This decides equal to operator is having highest precedence or less than symbol is having highest precedence or plus symbol is having highest precedence. If you are observe here, plus operator is having highest precedence rather than comparison operator, less than operator, as well as logical and operator, hence 10 plus 15 will be added. Okay, so whenever you are using 10 plus 15, it becomes a 25. If this condition want to be executed, let us assume x value as a 20 and y value as a 5. Then after replacing x value with 20 and y value as a 5, you are checking that condition 20 equal to 25, whether it is a true, false. 5 less than 10, whether it is a true, true. So among these two expressions, we are performing logical and operator. Now according to the logical and operator, false and true is true and false is false and true is false, hence the result will be false. Okay, and here we are going to be seeing various kinds of operator we are using in our expressions, and also the associativity of these operators and ranking positions. Okay, this comma and parenthesis as well as bracket is having highest precedence, rank 1, and it will be executed from left to right. Okay, we are familiar this, kindly go through this chart. And next, whenever we are using the precedence parenthesis in an expression, whatever the expression is present in your whatever the condition is present in your statement will execute first by parenthesis will execute first. Okay, I have given here one expression, that is a right shift b plus 3. In this we do not know whether b plus 3 has to be executed or right shift should be executed first. But as we know the precedence of an operator, b plus 3 will be executed, later onwards right shift will be possible. To avoid these confusions, if you place this expression in an parenthesis, then b plus 3 will be executed first, later right shift will be execute. Now we are going to be learning how this expression will be evaluated by taking one simple example. This example you have already learned in your C and C++, though let us just once again learn this expression. X is equal to a minus b by 3 plus c into 2 minus 1. When a is equal to 9, b is equal to 12, c is equal to 13, if we replace the values in that expression, we are getting as 9 minus 12 by 3 plus 3 into 2 minus 1. In the step 1, we are taking according to the BODMAS rule, 12 by 3 will be executed, that way it will come as a 9 minus 4 plus 3 into 2 minus 1. Next highest precedence is having multiplication. While coming to the step 2, 9 minus 4 plus 6, 3 into 2 will be executed and will come here. Whenever it moves to the second pass, we are taking x is equal to 5 plus 6 minus 1 and x is equal to 11 minus 1 and 10. Whenever you place the same expression within the parameter, parenthesis, then parenthesis value will be executed first and the result may vary. As we know, whenever without a parenthesis it is getting as an 10. If you are using the parenthesis, we are getting the result as 7. And next our topic is typecasting. So what do you mean by casting? Conversion of one data type to another data type. Okay, this concept is called as casting. This concept is called as casting. As we are familiar with the casting concept, now we are seeing the general syntax of typecasting. Type variable 1 is equal to type variable 2. Here type is nothing but a data type and variable 1 is the name of the variable of a type, and type we are forcefully converting the variable to of a type. Okay, let us see an example. Here hint m is equal to 50, byte n is equal to byte of m. Now we are taking n as a byte data type and m is an integer data type. We are forcefully converting into m. So long count is equal to long of m. We are forcefully converting integer into m. Okay, so whenever we are taking this casting operation, we should have to be note that lowest to highest, whenever we are converting lower data type to higher data type, no data loss will be happens. Whenever you are converting from higher data type to lower data type, you are definitely losing your data. Okay, so you can convert byte from to byte to short char int long float double, because byte is having a less data type, it won't change its property, and short you can convert into int long float double. Char also we can convert int into to long float double is possible, long to float double is possible, float to double is possible. If you try to convert float to byte, automatically data will lose. Okay, you will lose certain data, so this might not be happens. Hence that is why we have to know which is the lower order data type and higher order data types. Here we are taking one simple example. This table shows x is equal to int of 7.5. 7.5 is the floating point value. You are forcefully converting into integer by mentioning that int in a parenthesis. Okay, if you mention any data type within a parenthesis, means you are converting the value into a required type. Okay, here a is equal to int of 21.3 by int of 4.5. Then 21.3 will be converted as a 21 and 4.5 is converted as a 5, and 21 by 4 will be evaluated. Likewise, you are converting one data type to another data type. Here one simple example is kindly go through this. Here the class name is casting. followed by the open curly brace, and it starts with main method public static void main string args. Here we are defining the float sum int I, sum is equal to 0.0f. Here 0f indicates it is a floating point value. Here Java we can represent 0.0f. okay, f indicates the floating point value. I am taking one for loop. For I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, condition true. I am entering into the body of a statement. I am processing that statement. Sum is equal to sum plus 1 by float of I. You are converting integer value into float, that is 1 by 1.0, then it becomes as a 1. Already sum, it consists of 0.0f. 0 plus 1, it is 1. It will be stored in your sum. Now I am displaying the I value as well as sum value. After that, the control will move to the I plus plus. Now the new value of I is 2 less than or equal to 10, condition true. Once again it will enter into the body of a statement, and it will give as the result as 1 plus 1 by float of I. Now the new value of I is 2, right? 1 by 2, here it will give as a 0.5. okay, but this is not possible in your C and C++, where that condition will be fulfilled in your Java. So 1 by 2, it gives the result as 2.0 is given as 0.5. Already sum is exist as 1 plus 0.5, it is 1.5. that will be stored in your sum, and you are displaying the output of I value as I. The new value of I is 2, and the system.out.println, you are displaying the sum as 1.5. and control comes to the I incrementation. I become a 3, as we are seeing here output as, if I is a 3, sum value is 1.83333. I is equal to 4, sum value is so on, till that control will execute until unless the condition becomes false. Okay, yes. And here our next topic is automatic conversion. Automatic conversion means the conversion of a data type automatically. We are not converting any forcefully. This is possible by using equal to operator. Okay, so and also here one important question has asked. This typecasting question is also very important. In your previous question paper it has asked, so you have to be very careful on this. Here one concept is we are getting the process of assigning a smaller type to a larger one is known as widening. If you are assigning smaller data type to a larger data type, it is called as widening. For example, if you have seen byte b is equal to 75, int a is equal to b. So byte is a lesser data type, integer is higher data type. So you are assigning lesser data type value to a higher data type. Automatically lesser data type will be converting into higher data type. This concept is called as widening or promotion. The question is asked as what is widening for 2 marks. So you should be known this. For example, if you are converting higher data type to lower data type, then it is called as narrowing. So in the narrowing there is a loss of data is exist. So be careful on these things. Widening means converting of smaller data type to higher data type, and narrowing means conversion of higher data type to lower data type. In the narrowing, data loss is possible. And here it explains one sample program. You just go through here, and name of the class is the type wrap, and main method we have defined. I am displaying one output statement, variables created, char c is equal to, I am assigned within a single quotation c x, and byte b is equal to 50, short s is equal to, and all these are value, and I am displaying output of c b s I l f1 f2 fd2. It will display the result as you are seeing here the output. Afterwards what I am doing is I am forcefully converting. So short s1 is equal to short of b. B is byte. Byte is I am converting into short. So there is no data loss because short and byte is equal. Short s2 is equal to short of I. I is an integer value. If you forcefully converting into short, then you are identifying the garbage value you are getting in your output. As you are seeing that minus 13035 you are getting, right? Why? Because it is because of narrowing. Okay, what is narrowing? The conversion of higher data type to lower data type. Here we are forcefully converting. This is a typecasting. Clear? And float n1 is equal to float of t. So what is float of L. What is the L? Here L is the lang value. Your lang value forcefully you are converting into float. So then it will show as 1.23. So float and long, which one is a higher data type? Float. So it will be forcefully converting into higher data type. Likewise, this program will be executed. And here this chart explains which data type can be converted into which data type. Whenever you are converting lower data type to higher data type, no data loss will be happens. If you are converting into higher data type to lower data type, data loss will be possible. That's it. We will continue with other chapter. Hope you have understand this concept. Have a nice day. Thank you.